Hello, I am Richard A. Boxall, and this is my short and almost daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily-ish.
You're listening to the diary of a wannabe writer, Season 3.
Hello, today is Friday the 31st of July 2026. Welcome to the show. And I'm I'm not quite sure how I feel today. So, as you know, I've got a problem with my hip, and they were offering unpaid leave for September. I'm on unpaid leave now. In fact, today is technically the last day of my unpaid leave, and I went for it because it's going to be difficult. And unfortunately, I got turned down for it, which is a shame. I appreciate that probably more people applied for it than they had slots, and I guess they had to do some kind of lottery, and also it probably didn't help that I've got this month off, but I'm disappointed purely because quite a lot of pain at work, which means I go back to work on the 19th of August, and probably end up working 6 or 7 weeks, and I'm not sure that I can, so we shall see what happens there. But obviously, if I do go off sick, it'll be with a doctor's note and everything official. So it's just a shame, because I was hoping not to have to go off sick until the surgery came up. But mind you, there's also a chance, because I've got my pre-op on the 17th of August. So it's also possible the surgery will be brought forward and will be in September. In which case, obviously, I won't be at work because I'll be having surgery. So that's interesting. Anyway, what else have I done today? So I've done quite a lot of reading again. So I finished off reading the second book in the Dune series, Dune Messiah. And I hadn't quite realised how linked all the books were. But also, I'm absolutely fascinated to see... So Dune Messiah apparently is that loosely what they've based... I believe Dune Part 3 is loosely based on Dune Messiah. Now, I watched the trailer earlier today, and there doesn't seem to be an awful lot I recognise from the book in the trailer, apart from the reappearance of Duncan Idaho, which for anybody who hasn't read the book, I won't spoil why he's there, but he is in the trailer. So yeah, that's interesting. But what I didn't realise, so I was thinking, well, I'm not going to read, because I'm reading the Folio Society editions, and they've released the first 4 out of the 6 books. And I kind of thought book 2 was the end of the story, but it's a bit like the end of the third Star Wars film. Right at the end, a couple of kids get born, a boy and a girl, and then they seem to be the focus. So the next book is called Children of Dune, and it's set, not immediately after, because I think the kids are quite young, but it's set it's not set thousands of years or anything after. So I think some of the characters are still around, I suspect. I don't want to say much without... Again, for people who are hoping to watch Dune Part 3, I've no idea if the movie will stick to what happens in the book, but I guess there's certain things that probably will happen. But there are quite a few characters that appear in Dune Part 2 that will appear in Dune Part 3, because it's set 9 years later. So by no means not all of them. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm absolutely fascinated to see where it goes. Because it is it's much closer linked to the first pair of books. I thought there was a big time jump. Now I'm told there is actually a big time jump for book 4, but then I also I was reading the blurb for it, and I've kind of spoilt something that happens in book 3, which very closely links book 3 to book 4. But I don't want to say what, because again, I don't want to give away spoilers. But yeah, so I'm fascinated to read more of these. I think I'd watched Dune. I can't remember what time I recorded the podcast last night. It was really late, wasn't it? Was that the day before? Anyway, so I've watched Dune Parts 1 and 2, and I've watched the 1984 one. Well, I also discovered there's a Dune TV series. There have been 2 seasons so far, or maybe only one's been broadcast. But it looks quite good, so I've ordered that on Blu-ray. The other things, I've got a ton of movies on my hard drive, on my Sky Q. So I watched the Jason Bourne, the final movie in the Bourne series. Jason Bourne. Watched that today. I watched the rest of Antony and Cleopatra, so I've now watched and read all of Antony and Cleopatra, but I am going to... I've got a second version of it. So the one I watched was the BBC one from the 80s. I've also got hold of I think I said this yesterday as well, a version filmed at the Globe Theatre, which I watched the first half hour of. That was really quite good fun. It's a very different atmosphere to the BBC ones, which are very, very dry and serious. Whereas the stage version it's a lot of fun. I think it's something you would enjoy seeing. Not that I'm saying the BBC ones aren't. So I'm going to watch the rest of that. And then they're showing Twelfth Night, or they're doing Twelfth Night in Kew Gardens this month and next month. In fact, I think it started a few days ago. So the next one I'm going to read and watch will be Twelfth Night, hopefully before we go and see it. I haven't actually booked it yet. I need to speak to my friend and work out when we're going to do it. Because I've actually got quite a lot of things on in August now, because it also rather, although I haven't got my unpaid leave for September, it also rather looks like I'm not going to get the day off on Sunday. So I was hoping, so basically I had a huge amount of time off with one rogue day where I needed to work on the 2nd of August. I was hoping not to work that. I'll find out for definite tomorrow, but I think I am going to be working it, but then it's only one day and I've got like 16 days off after that before I go to work, and quite a few of them have got stuff planned. Anyway, that's me for today. Didn't get any writing done. I've been in a bit of a funny place mentally today, which is why I've been watching so much TV and stuff. But the next thing I'm going to tackle from my hard drive, I've got a load of stuff on there that I recorded ages ago thinking, I'm sure I'll like this. And I recorded Wicked, and musicals really aren't my thing, but I've heard it's quite good. So at some point I'm going to have to tackle Wicked, and of course, because Sky have now got Wicked for good, I can treat them. I can do them in one go, so I can watch both Wicked movies. It won't be in one sitting. It won't even be in 2 or 3 days. I'll just do as much as I can cope with each day. So I managed an hour today before thinking, I've had enough now, which leaves me an hour 40, the first movie left. Anyway, I've overrun slightly, but thank you very much for listening. I'll be back tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by me, Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my cogitative considerations, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree on linktr.ee/Richard Writes. Capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.